So after learning what is a remainder theorem, let's solve some problems based on a remainder theorem. And the first one is determine the remainder when the polynomial px is divided by gx. So your px is equal to x raised to the power of 4 minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 1, and your gx is equal to x minus 1. Okay, now this problem is related to remainder theorem. And how? It's saying that it's asking what will be the remainder if you divide px by gx. Now your gx, as you can see here, it's x minus 1. Its degree is equal to 1. That's why it's a linear polynomial. It's a linear polynomial. And if you find out the zero of this polynomial gx, so in order to find the zero of this polynomial gx, it means that you have to equate it to 0, and then from here you get x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 is the zero of this polynomial. That means if you put 1 at the place of x in gx, you will get 0. Okay. Now if you take this x is equal to 1, and if you put this x is equal to 1 at the place of x in px, then you will get the remainder. That's what the remainder theorem says. So p1 is equal to 1 raised to the power of 4 minus 3 multiplied by 1 raised to the power of 2 plus 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1. From here you get 1 minus 3 plus 2 plus 1, and this gives you 1. So your remainder will be 1. Okay, this is the importance of a remainder theorem, that you can quickly tell the answer. In this next one, you have px is equal to x cubed minus ax squared plus 6x minus a, and gx is equal to x minus a. Again, your gx, that is the divisor polynomial, is a linear polynomial because its degree is 1. Now since its degree is 1, if you find out its 0, so in order to find the 0, let's equate this polynomial gx is equal to x minus a to 0, and then from here you get x is equal to a. So x is equal to a is the 0 of this polynomial. Now if you take this x equal to a, and if you put this x equal to a at the place of x in px, then you get pa is equal to a cubed minus a multiplied by a squared plus 6 multiplied by a and minus a. You get a cubed minus a cubed plus 6a minus a. If you solve this, you will get 5a. It means that when you divide this polynomial px by gx, then the remainder is 5a. Here, your px is equal to 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 14x minus 3, and gx is equal to x minus 1 by 2. Now again, this is a linear polynomial because its degree is 1. Now since its degree is 1, therefore it's a linear polynomial. Now if you divide a polynomial by a linear polynomial and you have to tell the remainder, then you can use the remainder theorem and quickly tell the remainder. So what's the 0 of this polynomial? So in order to find the 0 of this polynomial, equate this polynomial gx to 0. So gx is equal to x minus 1 by 2 is equal to 0. From here you get x is equal to 1 by 2. Now x is equal to 1 by 2 is the 0 of the polynomial gx. If you take this gx equal to x equal to 1 by 2 and put at the place of x in this polynomial px, you get p 1 by 2 is equal to 4 multiplied by 1 by 2 whole cubed minus 12 multiplied by 1 by 2 whole squared, and then let's take some space, x and b, plus 14 multiplied by 1 by 2 and minus 3. So from here, this is 4 multiplied by 1 cubed by 2 cubed, that is 8, minus 12 multiplied by 1 squared, 2 squared means 4, plus 14 multiplied by 1 by 2 minus 3. So you get here 2, you get here 3, you get here 7. So this is 1 by 2 minus 3 plus 7 minus 3. If you take the LCM, and the LCM will be 2, so this becomes 2. 1 minus 6 plus 14 minus 6. So this gives you 15 minus 12. 15 minus 12 is 3 by 2. So the remainder is 3 by 2. The remainder is 3 by 2 when you divide px by gx. Check whether the polynomial qt is a multiple of gt. Qt is equal to 4t cubed plus 4t squared minus t minus 1, and gt is equal to 2t plus 1. Now, let's try to understand this by a simple example. If we say that 4 multiplied by 3 is equal to 12, or we say 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to 12, then if we say that 12 is a multiple of 4, what does it mean? It means that when you divide 12 by 4, then the quotient is 3 and your remainder comes 0. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 12 is a multiple of 4 because 4 times 3 is 12, and that means when you divide 12 by 4, you get 3 as a quotient and remainder is equal to 0. That it is completely divisible. In the same way, 3 multiplied by 4 is equal to 12. It means that when you divide 12 by 3, you get quotient 4 and your remainder is 0. It means that 12 is completely divisible by 3. So we say that 12 is a multiple of 4 and 12 is a multiple of 3 in these two examples. Okay, so if qt is a multiple of gt, it means that when you divide qt by gt, your remainder should be 0, should come 0. Now if your remainder should come 0, there are two different ways to find it out. Either go by the long division method, that will consume a lot of time. Another way is use the remainder theorem and tell that, right? Why we can use here remainder theorem? Because the divisor, that is gt, is a linear polynomial because its degree is 1, right? Now since its degree is 1, that's why it's a linear polynomial, and therefore we can quickly tell the 0 of this polynomial. So 2t plus 1 is equal to 0. This will give you t is equal to minus 1 by 2. T is equal to minus 1 by 2 is the 0 of this polynomial, and if you take this value, that is t is equal to minus 1 by 2, and you put at the place of t in the polynomial qt, then you will get the remainder of this division. So qt is equal to 4 multiplied by minus 1 by 2 whole cubed plus 4 multiplied by minus 1 by 2 whole squared minus 1 by 2 and minus 1. This gives you 4 multiplied by minus 1 by 8 plus 4 multiplied by 1 by 4 and plus 1 by 2 and minus 1. This gives you minus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus 1 by 2 minus 1. If you solve it, you'll get 0. This tells you that the remainder will come 0, right? That is why qt is a multiple of gt. Check whether gx is a factor of px. Now, let's again move to this back to this basic example. If 12 is a multiple of 4 and 12 is a multiple of 3, then we can say that 4 is a factor of 12 and 3 is also a factor of 12, right? Why? Because when you divide 12 by 4, your remainder comes 0. It means that 4 is a factor of 12 because it is completely divisible. 12 is completely divisible by 4. In the same way, 12 is a factor of 3 as well, because when you divide 12 by 3, you get the remainder is equal to 0. That's why 4 and 3 are the factors of 12 in these two examples. So if gx is a factor of px, it means that when you divide px by gx, then your remainder should come 0. So let's do this. Your remainder should come 0. It means that now if you look at this divisor gx, it's a linear polynomial. Because its degree is 1. Now since it's a linear polynomial and gx is a divisor, therefore we can use remainder theorem here, because our divisor is a linear polynomial. So first find out the 0 of this divisor, that is 7 plus 3x is equal to 0. From here you get x is equal to minus 3 by 7. Okay, x is equal to minus 3 by 7 is the is the 0 of this polynomial gx. If you take this value x equal to minus 3 by 7 and put it at the place of x in this polynomial px, you will get some value, and if that value is 0, it means that your remainder will be 0, right? So p minus 3 by 7 is equal to 3 multiplied by minus 3 by 7 whole cubed plus 7 multiplied by minus 3 by 7. This gives you 3 multiplied by, this should be minus 7 by 3. This is minus 7 by 3. Minus 7 by 3. So 7 times 7 is 49 and minus 343 by 27 plus, so 7 times 7 is minus 49 and this is 3. Okay, so this is 3 times 9 and this is minus 343 divided by 9 minus 49 divided by 3, right? Now from here you get, if you take the LCM, this becomes 9, so minus 343 minus 49 multiplied by 3, so this becomes 49 multiplied by 3, 3 9 27 and 2 3 4 12 and 147. This is minus 343 is equal to minus 147 means 350, 390 minus 490 divided by 9, right? So clearly this is not equal to 0. That's why gx is not a factor of px, because in order to because gx will be the factor of px only when the remainder comes, the remainder of px minus divided by gx is equal to 0, but in this case it's not equal to 0. That's why gx is not a factor of px.